Hello. Today I'm going to discuss the initiative and referendum process in Arizona and explain why these two tools are at the heart of direct democracy in the state. Arizona is one of the states that strongly emphasizes citizen participation in government. The initiative and referendum are both written into the Arizona Constitution, giving voters the power to influence laws directly rather than relying solely on elected representatives. These processes allow everyday citizens to shape public policy, hold lawmakers accountable, and have the final say on important issues. First, let's begin with basic definitions. An initiative is a process that allows citizens to propose a new law or a constitutional amendment and place it directly on the ballot for voters to approve or reject. This means that citizens do not need the state legislature to introduce or pass a law. Instead, they can bring an idea straight to the voters. A referendum is different. A referendum allows citizens to approve or reject a law that has already been passed by the state legislature. If voters disagree with a law passed by lawmakers, they can collect signatures to have that law placed on the ballot, where voters decide whether it should remain in effect or be repealed. In simple terms, an initiative creates new law, while a referendum challenges existing laws. Next, we'll talk about how initiative and referendums are created in Arizona. The initiative process begins when a group of citizens draft proposed law or constitutional amendment. This proposal is submitted to the Arizona Attorney General, who prepares an official title and summary that will appear on the petition. Supporters then begin collecting signatures from registered Arizona voters. The number of signatures required depends on whether an initiative proposes a statutory change or a constitutional amendment and is based on a percentage of voters cast in the previous gubernatorial election. Once enough valid signatures are collected and verified, the initiative qualifies to the ballot at the next general election, where voters decide whether to approve or reject it. A well-known example of initiative in Arizona is Proposition 207, also known as the Smart and Safe Arizona Act, which appeared in the 2020 ballot. This initiative was proposed by citizens and legalized recreational marijuana in Arizona after voters approved it. The legislature did not create this law, it came directly from the people through the initiative process. The referendum process works a little differently. After the state legislature passes a law and governors sign it, citizens have a limited period of time to file a referendum petition. During this period, they must collect the required number of voter signatures. If they succeed, the law is placed on the ballot for voters to decide whether to uphold it or repeal it. Until the election occurs, the law is usually suspended. An example of this that helps explain the referendum process in Arizona involves the Senate Bill 1070, the 2010 Immigration Enforcement Law. After it was passed by legislators, some citizens attempted to challenge the law through the referendum process by collecting signatures to place it on the ballot. Although the effort did not ultimately qualify, it demonstrates how a referendum allows citizens to directly challenge legislative action. Now, let's compare and contrast initiatives and referendums. Both initiatives and referendums are tools of direct democracy. They both require citizen involvement, petition circulation, signature collection, and voter approval at an election. In both cases, the final decision is made by the people, not lawmakers. However, they differ in important ways. An initiative is used to propose new laws or constitutional amendments, while a referendum is used to approve or reject laws that already exist. Initiatives are proactive, meaning citizens act first to introduce change. Referendums are reactive, meaning citizens respond to a decision made by the legislature. There are pros and cons to each process. One major advantage of initiative is that they give citizens the power to bring attention to issues that the legislator may ignore. They encourage civic engagement and allow voters to shape public policy directly. However, initiative can be expensive to promote and may oversimplify complex policy issues. Voters may not always have enough information to fully understand the long-term effects of a proposal. Referendums also have important advantages. They act as a check on legislative power and ensure that laws reflect public opinion. Referendums help prevent lawmakers from passing unpopular or controversial laws without accountability. On the downside, referendums can delay the implementation of important legislation and may be influenced by special interest groups with significant resources. Finally, let's discuss how initiative and referendum support direct democracy in Arizona. Direct democracy is a system in which citizens participate directly in decision making rather than relying entirely on elected officials. The Arizona Constitution embraces this idea by giving voters the authority to propose laws, amend the Constitution, and reject legislation they disagree with. By including the initiative and referendum processes, Arizona ensures that political power ultimately rests with the people. These tools allow citizens to shape the direction of the state, hold lawmakers accountable, and actively participate in the government beyond voting for representatives. In conclusion, the initiative and referendum are essential components of Arizona's democratic system. While they differ in purpose, both empower citizens and strengthen democracy by giving voters a direct voice in lawmaking. Together, they reflect the Arizona's Constitution commitment to direct democracy and citizen participation. Thank you for listening.